If your company is paying for motivational speakers, that might be a warning sign.
If your company's playing music.
If they need theme music to enter the stage and it's not WWE.
That's right. If the lights go down and it's not a disco, yeah. And if they have motivational speakers, all these are bad signs. If they need
special light and special music in order to get your attention.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign.
Right. And so if your company is relying on amping up your motivation, that is usually a sign that the strategy is missing.
That there's no substance.
Right. Yeah.
Because, we should be able to
We're going to kill it this quarter.
We should be able to get ramped up over, like the purpose of the work.
Or a product.
Right.
Look, we've got this thing. It's really, it's this new product, or this is this new thing that we figured out. It's what, in its simplest, and we've talked about this before, but in its simplest, a strategy derives from something you can do that other people can't, or an idea you have that other people don't. Something you see that they don't, or something you can do that they don't. And that does not require intro music by AC/DC and somebody getting your motivation worked up. I mean, that you should be able to talk about that very, very plainly. Some of the richest people we've ever met in our life have extremely simple and not sexy business models. Mm-hmm. One of our clients that we work with, and we've worked with for decades, and they're enormously successful, basically figured out a way to make used cars more valuable at no cost to the people who own the used cars. And they just take a percentage. And it's the cleanest, most beautiful business model anywhere. And it's very hard to copy because you have to do the work outside in the elements. And it's very detailed work.
It's also a network.
Yeah. And they've been doing it now long enough to where they know all the people in Carland. And so they're, at this point, when they started, they were the go-to because they were the only ones. Now they're the go-to because they're the known ones.
Right.
But they built that.
Right. And we, by the way, are not motivational
We
speakers.
are not motivational speakers.
We actually try to have substance to what we're doing.
We're trying to teach you something.
Yeah. But I will say that I remember when they first became a client and it was, we'll charge you X and you'll be able to turn around and get Y. Yeah. And that is exciting. Like, that is such a simple message, so easy to understand. Like, that, to have an organization that's that clear on their value proposition, that is exciting. That is something you can get behind. You don't actually need a bunch of lights. It also makes me think about, like, the stories of, like, Steve Jobs. And, like, his message was, we're going to change the world. And, like, that's a big statement to make, but he didn't do it with lights and dance music.
Yeah.
He just said, we're going to change the world, and then here's how.
Yeah. I don't mean to pick on the guy, but if you Google, or if we want to I don't want to beat this poor guy up. I mean, he's rich as all get out, but Steve Ballmer, who was Bill Gates' roommate at Harvard, and then he went on to work with him at Microsoft. I think they were roommates at Harvard before Bill Gates dropped out. And then Ballmer took Gates' job when Gates left and stepped aside from Microsoft to focus on his foundation. And there's a clip of Ballmer basically trying to motivate the troops. Like, I love this company. Ah! And he's running around yelling. And it's viral for all the wrong reasons.
I think there's actually a lot of those out there.
Yeah, it happened at the point that Microsoft didn't have a strategy and was completely missing the internet age. And so that may just be bad timing.
That's like the Netscape era.
Yeah, they doubled down on making this thing called Vista that everybody hated.
Oh, I remember.
Like, we're going to put our as the internet was becoming a thing, instead of putting their money into internet things, they doubled down on their suite of floppy disks, basically.
Right.
oversimplifying.
They did correct, obviously, but yeah, they were a
Late.
little bit behind.
Yeah, they were years behind. And I think even Ballmer, to his credit, would go on to say that, yes, that was a mistake. And you and I, we're not suggesting that strategy is easy. It's not. It's hard. But what is easy is hiring a motivational speaker. And what is easy is playing some great rock music and shooting off some balloons and telling people that we're going to be awesome and we're going to sell more, even though there's not a strategy to do that.
Yeah, you can tell people that you're going to be awesome, but you need to have some substance to it.
Yes. And the more substance you have, the less music, the less balloons, the fewer motivational speakers you're hiring, because
you want people to hear the message.
Yeah, right. I mean, I always knew I wanted to talk to people in some way for a living, but I never, ever wanted to be a motivational speaker because I didn't feel like it did justice to, I felt like I had more to offer, but I wasn't smart enough when I left the Army. And so I had to go to school.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there are many times where people don't know how to describe what we do. And so they will say that we're motivational speakers.
And we always correct
We always correct them because a motivational speaker is only trying to ramp up your emotions. Whereas when we're speaking, we may get your emotions ramped up, maybe. Like Geoff is very funny, so sometimes I think that's why you get categorized that way. He's very funny, but it's accidentally funny and it comes out.
My humor is an accident, nerds.
It is. Both of us can ramp up the emotions just because of the idea. Like if there's like a good idea that's back there and people get excited about that idea, or if it's a tool like in your toolbox about how to deal with yourself or other people, like people can get ramped up about those things. But there's something real that's doing it. It's not just creating an environment that feels high energy. Yeah. I mean, people get excited by ideas.
Yeah.
And basically, we've been fortunate to have the education where we can pull out things that either people haven't heard before or they see it differently than how they thought about it before, or sometimes, help them shape new ideas.
Yeah, we had a new client there. It's the public works of a pretty good sized city. And so literally it's the people who do the sewers, wastewater,
important work,
cut the yards, pick up the trash. And so it's it's big, it's a good sized city. So these are the supervisors of all these people. And we did something we've talked about on this podcast, basically the developmental levels of people with a relatively old idea from social science of situational leadership theory, which we talk about as freshman year, sophomore year, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. We can put a link to one of the old, or not old, but one of the episodes that we've done recently on this. And that group, when I explain that to them, hey, here's this idea, here's what it suggests, and then now I want you to take 5 minutes. And in this group, they had the leaders and their assistants, their second in command. I said, get with your second in command, and then I want you to figure out of your people, how many freshmen do you have, how many sophomores, how many juniors, how many seniors, and then are you developing them the way that this idea suggests we tend to get the best out of these people. And I couldn't get them to stop talking. Instead of the 5 minutes, they spent probably double that time with their group or with their assistant. And then when I brought the whole group back, we spent another 25 or 30 minutes. And they're like, look, we see this person and we were treating this person like the other, but they're not the same. And we should be doing it differently. And ideas are motivating. Mm-hmm. Strategy is motivating.
Look, you know the difference because it's not that you just walk out feeling a certain way. It's that you walk out and you feel empowered because now you understand something or you've thought of something that you hadn't before. I mean, I've had, and this was Maximizer Satisficer, so we can link to that.
That was the first podcast we ever did.
With my nephew.
Episode 1, nerds.
And And, I was giving that presentation. They actually had watched the podcast, and so they requested it. And I literally had a guy on break walk out. I heard him on the phone, and he tracked me down over lunch, and he's like, "You just described my boss and me, and now I understand." And that's exciting.
Yeah.
And that's there wasn't any emotional manipulation in that. Like he had to hear it, it had to click, and then he's excited. So anyway, I just wanted to be clear because I think sometimes we lump motivational speakers into we lump them with people who are actually motivational in the sense that they will teach you something that is exciting, but the difference is motivational is really just working on your emotions and there's not much substance versus somebody who's actually teaching you something.
Yeah. You're either taking notes or you're not. If you're not in a motivational speech, you're not taking notes because, being more the person you were meant to be, like, okay, all right.
Put the thought out into the universe to make it happen.
Oh,
which, hey,
don't get her
that's some goal setting right there, but like that's not wrapped up. Like there's a whole reason why that would be helpful that they're not even getting into.
Yeah. It's not enough to just say, this company, we're going to have the motivation to meet these new targets. We need to know, why did we raise these targets for whatever, sales, new clients, whatever. Why do we pick that? And then we have to bring in 20% more clients. How are we going to do that? Do we have a better product now than we used to have?
This what you're laying out is literally stressing me out because like if I'm in the audience as an employee and you're not telling me
how we're going to do this
new, but you're dropping on more responsibility to me and I'm supposed to be, yay, I'm making more money for the company. Like that's not motivating.